Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Oh my God, it's a 4-2-5 defense. All you gotta do is blitz more. All they gotta do is fire Aaron Glenn, and then they can start winning again. They're so stupid.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
Sell the team, bro. Sell the team. 1957. They ain't won shit since 1957. They need to sell the team. They ain't never gonna do nothing. Same old lines.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You ever meet somebody and they're so boring you feel like they poisoned you? Like, you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now. And I think you did it.
Here's the thing, though. What I've been doing is 3:30 every morning. That's I get up and I do my sprints. Yeah, I mean, those are prime sprinting hours. People don't realize. And that's how I know I'm succeeding, is if I'm doing my sprints while everyone else is asleep. It's a winning mindset is what it is. That's exactly what it is.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
Good morning, everybody. Let's do this. Yeah. Yeah, right there. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is Football Talk with Russell Wayne right here. It is still the Super Bowl week. We're in the lull, ladies and gentlemen, but we are broadcasting live right now into the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. We're broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast, as well as our YouTube page. Thank you for everybody that is out there following, everybody that's out there that is subscribing, and the ones that, take part into the discussions that we have in here each and every day when it comes to this. Now we are moving to the afternoon. So I'm going to have to get Christopher Walken to start talking about the afternoon show because Jeremy B Smoking Jeremy B is going to be taking over our 11 o'clock hour, and we are going to be moving to the afternoon. So you will be able to come to the main event network, and we're going to be going live 2 times a day with our programming. So thank you, everybody that is following the page right now. We are approaching 45,000 villains. Make sure that you follow that page. We appreciate that too, because this is Detroit Rock City and things are different around here. Things are different in the city of Detroit. The things are different when you're looking at, yeah, I like that. Yeah. Football talk with Russell Wayne right here. We're going to be going through today. We're going to be, maybe you can throw some of your nominees for Lion of the Year. I'm throwing Frank the Tank in right off the get-go because I just think that that's going to be cool. We're going to be talking about the Brad Holmes, the end of the year presser right there. We're going to talk a little bit about Jared Goff. We're going to talk a little bit about Justin Fields and the fact that Joe Barry found himself a new job. But before we get into all that, I'm going to welcome my compadre to the show, Main Event Mike. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Russ.
I like it. I like it. There you go. I don't know where you're at right now, but you got a cool little boomy, like a little reverb thing going on. Kind of cute.
Okay,
so,
I wondered how is the audio okay?
It's boomy, but I mean it's not like
okay. I don't have the mic or the headset, so just running off the laptop. But sorry I'm late. I was researching my Lion of the Year.
Oh yeah,
and I think I got the winner. I think I'm picking the winner. I love your nomination of Frank Ragnow, but I think I got the winner when it's time.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's it. I only got this one nominee in here. I wanted to nominate Frank the Tank, and this is going to be something that's going all week long. Okay, so we're not going to announce this winner until the debut episode, when we are moving to the afternoon show as of next Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. We are starting season number 3. Now, I know it may sound like something like this big, huge thing. We're going to throw a party and there's going to be, you know, midgets doing tricks and fireworks and stuff. But no, it's going to move from Sunday to Monday, and we're going to officially start because we do this 365 days a year, folks. So it is going to be the start over of the new season. Jeremy B, Smoking Jeremy B is going to, you don't have to worry about this slot right here. There will be football talk in this slot, but it will be with Smoking Jeremy B on this slot as we move to the afternoons, so we can facilitate some of our West Coast fans that have been crying because they can't watch the show because it's so early in the morning, because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning over there when we're doing this 11 o'clock show.
You can always watch the show in the feed. They're just mad they can't comment. That's all.
They want to be here with us. They love our camaraderie. They want to put their comments right into, you know, the comment machine. You can see the comments in there. We got Paul Jones in the house, Hernandez, Rob's in the house, Fred Peterson's in the house, Paul Jones, JIK. We got Gene in the house, Jordan's in the house, Henry Gray's in the house. Wow, we got him in here. You guys are the hardcore ones. And I was wondering about this, Mike. Which ones are going to be the ones that aren't going to be the ones that drop off, you know, that aren't as interested? And it's not like you guys are better fans than them, but some people kind of turn it off in the off season and they get geared up in training camp. Does that make them part-time fans, Mike? No? Maybe. Or did you get frozen? Did you get frozen, Mike? Hello? Did I get frozen? Who's frozen? Is it me? Is it me that's frozen? It can't be me that's frozen. I nominate Penei Sewell or Brad Holmes. Here's the new main event, Mike. The new and improved main event, Mike, maybe? One of them. There's one. One of them's moving. I think I got the right one. Okay. There we go. We see you, Russell. Okay. I was wondering if it was me that was freezing, because sometimes I see you freezing. I'm like, look, Mike is frozen. And it's actually me. and I'm just talking to myself in my room. So I had to make sure, but that's cool. Mike is frozen. Yes, I have
I'm actually in my back room of my house, and I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm trying to be nice to my wife. She works nights, and she hears me yelling at Packer fans through the heat register. She's sleeping above us when I'm talking, so I'm trying to be a kinder, gentler Mike for 2024. But we see how that's working out.
Yeah. Well, we are moving on when it comes to, this show has evolved over the last few years. I mean, there was no filters on it for a while, and we were kind of saying whatever we want. But as we grew in these followers, all of a sudden, you get these messages from the community standards board from the Facebook, and they're telling us, oh, okay, now that you got some people in here, you're going to have to watch your P's and Q's a little bit. So, we see you, Russell. Yes, Mike is frozen. Is it you that's frozen, or is it me?
I was frozen. Those are old comments from the hiccup we had a minute ago. But how about this comment from Paul? My line of the year is Lions Villain Squad for being our pillars to Lions society. Very well put, Paul. We are pillars to Lion society. I'll take that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't care if it's the underground society. I mean, there's still some pillars in that too.
Right.
Oh, great show today, Jeremy B. We appreciate you coming in the morning and being part of our network right here as we continue to grow and we continue to bring you Lions content. And we're going to be talking about the other the other teams in the North too, especially when it comes to the offseason, because we feel ever since the beginning of this that know thy enemy has been one of those things. We want to know about what the team is doing. So get your nominees in for Lion of the Year. We're going to go over there and get on Friday. We'll tally these up and kind of come up with what the ones that they can vote on for. And then Monday, we're going to crown a winner when we come on to that show right here. I wanted to get into some of the other stuff where we want to start right here, but I guess we'll go right in with some of the.
I don't get to give my nomination for Lion of the Year.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Did you say that we're going to crown it on Friday? Is that what you said?
We are going to gather the nominations and see how many nominations we can get throughout the week here.
And when do we name the Lion of the Year, or what we will call the Lodi, the Lion of the Year, the Villain Squad Lodi Award?
This will be the crown jewel of our very first season premiere episode on Monday, February 12th, the day after the Super Bowl is when we'll go ahead, because that's the off season. We can start giving off seasons awards. We can make up off season awards. Maybe we'll borrow GT from And We Know Sports because they got a lot of great names for their end of the year awards, and maybe we can piggyback off of them. Either way, we need to give our awards. Just Lion of the Year. That's the first one in there. I threw in Frank the Tank. Who you going to throw in, Mike? Don't take all the good ones.
Sam Laporta, 10 touchdowns, broke every rookie tight end record that's relevant, had the most incredible tight end season for a rookie in history. How do you not win Lion of the Year?
How about that one? How about that one?
Clutch touchdowns all year long. He had 10 touchdowns. They were all backbreakers to the other team.
I love that. That was did you just make that up?
Right off the cuff.
Clutch down. That's right. He led the team in clutch downs right there. Henry Gray says, how about that 12th man? I mean, they cost Stafford that playoff game because he couldn't hear anything and they had to take 2 timeouts.
I think it's a great nomination, call. Henry. The fans, did you hear Brad Holmes giving love to the fans at the press conference? So what a great nomination that is. That one's definitely got to be under consideration.
And right here, before we move on to the other thing, because I don't want this to be a topic that is begins and ends. I want this to be a kind of an overwhelming theme throughout this entire rest of the week. as we're trying to figure this out, that we're trying to nominate all the great players. So we got Sam Laporta, we got Frank Ragnow, we got the 12th man. I like that. I love that call right there.
The pride.
The pride. Jordan says it's a tough pick, and I love this call right here because the team is playing like a team. So it's like it's really hard to pick any one guy because it's like through the 18 weeks it seemed like there was a different hero every week. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs went off one week, and then it was Sam Laporta's turn, and then it was Amon-Ra's turn. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
$1.99. What does Fred mean there?
Sam Laporta for Lion of the Year. He changed his name to Fred Peterson, $1.99.
Okay. Fred Peterson, $1.99. You can't get anything under $2 anymore, Fred. I mean, it is what it is. Dwayne says Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's killer right there because, you know, that's it. Here's a guy that has been like, you're trying to think of other guys, and he's just the dude that's like steady Eddie. I mean, does that dude catch anything other than third down catches? Third down.
He made all pro in year 3 as a 4th round draft pick. Absolutely a front runner for Lion of the Year. And we haven't even mentioned Jared Goff yet. And Jordan Miho's point there, are we talking about coaches as execs? I mean, ultimately, Sheila Ford Hamp would be a nominee for Lion of the Year for bringing it all together.
That's a beautiful thing. That is
but
a beautiful
any
thing.
of it happen without the spirit of Dan Campbell even?
Right. And there's just a ton of people that it's funny because the people that are off the trains of one player are usually mentioning one of these other things, right? Oh, you can't choose Jared Goff because he has all these weapons. Okay. Well, you can't choose Amon-Ra because he has Jared Goff throwing him the ball, like throwing it to him on a dime. Like, it's a great thing. That's a super chat. I sent the podcast $1.99. I guess we got to learn how to use this stuff. This is cool.
Thank you, Fred.
This must be a YouTube thing. I did get a notification that we were in that program. I wasn't sure how that worked, but I guess that's how it works. Thank you, Fred.
Coming soon, Villain Squad t-shirts. Fred, what size do you wear? Put it in the comments. Go ahead, Russ. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. This is cool that, like, I mean, we haven't even got, I got 4 topics today, and we're changing our format a little, not really changing the format, trying to get into a flow of things, trying to get into 4 basic ideas that we're going to be talking about. And in this next part that we're going to talk about we're going to talk about Joe Barry right here. Joe Barry got himself a new job, and that's brought to you by the Toolology Show. This topic right here, we'll talk a little bit about Joe Barry, is brought to you by our Toolology Show that is at the Machine Shop on February the 17th. And Mike's band, the 99, will be opening up the show with all original music, and then it is all Tool. So thank you for the Machine Shop right here, helping us out a little bit right here as we talk about Joe Barry finds a new home. Mike, did you know this, or am I surprising you with this? Or did you freeze? All right. So Joe Barry finds a new home, and he is going to the Miami Dolphins, right? That is, I think that is what I heard there. Joe Barry, who has been the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator for the past 3 seasons, is now the new linebackers coach and run game coordinator for the for the Miami Dolphins. I don't know how big a news that is for you, but that is on the upfront right there. Joe Barry finding a new job. I think it's ironic that all the Green Bay Packer fans wanted him gone. There's no doubt in my mind that the Green Bay Packer fans wanted him out. And now he is out, and I was curious. To see curious to see what would happen and if he would be able to get another defensive coordinator job or if he would get a demotion. So this plays into the hands of these Green Bay Packer fans who wanted him gone think that he was the reason the defense wasn't good. And I think there's a little bit of evidence right there when I'm looking at this Packer Central article right here about Joe Barry going to the Dolphins and him becoming the linebackers coach and getting a demotion kind of shows you that that the NFL didn't have as much respect for his abilities either. And I'm not saying that he's bad or anything like that, but that does show it. On the other side of that, where you got Getsy, who got fired, is getting major interest. But possibly he might end up getting another coordinator job. You know, that there was a lot of interest in Getsy. And that's a little bit different than the situation here with Joe Barry. Joe Barry takes a demotion where Getsy seems to have a lot more clout out there in the football world when it comes to that. So the other, I wanted to hit on that and see if we got anybody in the comments here that care. Do they care? Lou Getsy, OC for the Raiders. Is that true? Lou Getsy, did he get that job? I could be off. I'm not as up on the other teams as I am on the Lions, obviously. Yep. News about the Raiders nearing a deal. Yeah, okay. At least I'm not late on this. So, but this is from CBS Sports that says Lou Getsy is nearing a deal to be the Raiders offensive coordinator after Cliff Kingsbury withdraws himself from the job. So Cliff Kingsbury is still getting paid top dollar, and he isn't even coaching on a team. He's out there in the Caribbean or something. You don't want to come out of there quite yet. So, but that tells you something about the difference between a Joe Barry and Lou Getsy, and like what fans see about these guys and like what happens in reality is it sounds to me like Lou Getsy is a better coach than Joe Barry was, just based on smart people that are either hiring or firing these guys. Because I'm not smart. And I wouldn't claim that I know everything about football. I read as much as I can and give you as educated of a thought that I can, but I don't know. I don't know which one of these guys are like really good. I know that they blamed Joe Barry all season long because he's got all these first round draft picks. He couldn't get anything done there with Green Bay. He couldn't get those guys playing like with all those draft picks. I mean, that they should have the best defense in the league with all the capital that Gutekunst he used. He used a lot of capital on the defensive side of the ball. Oh gosh. But Lou Getsy gets an offensive coordinator job with the LA Raiders, not the Las Vegas Raiders, the LA Raiders. No, the Las Vegas Raiders. Lou Getsy, he gone. He got fired, but it looks as if that Joe Barry gets a demotion going down to Miami as the linebackers coach. What do you think about that? Throw that in the comments. Let's see. Fix the third quarter play. Okay. Gosh, I love it. I love it. Say, can't see what Flores does with the second year with the Vikings. Has that been confirmed yet? I mean, I was looking through that, Jason MC. You may know more of this because you're more of a Viking fan. You know, I understand that. I may have missed that, but I looked for that this morning and they don't have any news. I don't know if they would really just have news that Flores would just, you know, if he's staying on, if it would be like a news story. I don't know if that was like a decision to be made, but if Flores stays, And this is a little bit off topic right here, but Jason's in here. He is a Viking fan. If Flores stays, he proven that he can do a lot with a little. So that defense was 32nd in the league, last year, and then with less talent, Brian Flores was able to turn that around. So I don't know if that's a foregone conclusion that he's staying with the second year, but if it is, that's really good news if you're a Viking fan. It's true. Patterson was going to the Jags. Gouda puke. Okay, now I wanted to get into Rob, so we're gonna switch gears right here, because I had this thing. I pulled this from the Detroit Lions news podcast. Right here, they put this up as a post, and by the way, yeah, shout out to those guys. They're very good at what they do. But this is exactly what you're talking about, Rob. Fix that third quarter. The Detroit Lions per quarter, you can see it right there. First quarter, 7.1 points. That was second in the league. Second quarter, 8.2 points. That was seventh in the league. Fourth quarter, 8.0 points. And that's where you really, that's great that they're third in the league in fourth quarter points. That's the most important one. But that third quarter, that's half. Why are you scoring half of the points? What's the deal with the third quarter? And I don't know if this is an awful problem right here. And then you look at the defense and it's the same thing. You got 4.2 points. They usually start out pretty good, right? That's 17th in the league. I guess that's the top half of the bottom half, I guess. Second quarter, they play good second quarter. That's the best part of their defense, but you can see where their defense is 32nd in the third quarter. Got to fix that third quarter. It's offense and defense. It's offense and defense. The good thing about the fourth quarter on the offense is it looks like, even though they're not fixing the third quarter, Rob, they are getting it fixed by the fourth quarter, and they're third in the league right there. So you're right. If they can come out and they're with these young coordinators, and both of these guys are young coordinators. Aaron Glenn, these guys, this is their first job as a coordinator. So you're doing the adjustments, but it just seems like the trend is it takes them a full quarter to get through and do the adjustment and get to the opponent. Now, they had good quarters in the third quarter every now and again, but for the most part, they were struggling. But they did get it. That's what you're seeing right there. The trend is they had an awful third quarter, and then they started to get it. That's a sign of a young team getting better. That's my opinion on it. I could just be looking at it through my homer eyes. But thank you for the comment, Rob. Let's see what we got here. Good morning, A-Dub in the house. I love it. Oh, shoot. I might be done here. Oh, great. All right. Let's see. Anybody hear me? Anybody hear me? I feel like this thing is not going through. What? That? I am plugged directly into it. I don't need to move closer to my internet. I'm going to go off. I can't stand this. Comcast should be sending me a refund. You can hear me? You can hear me? All right, good. Good. I can't change these comments on here. Okay, now we are. All right. There we go. Cool. All right. Flores is coming back. Sarah did confirm that. I'm sorry, guys. We deal with internet problems right here. We are not ESPN. I wish I had their router because then I feel like we could compete. No. Good morning to Brent. Good morning from Sarah. I wanted to say good morning to A-Dub, who came in. That is, I tell you what, A-Dub to me, I know it says a Darian West, but A-Dub, to me, I coin him as the greatest Green Bay Packer fan of all time. I love you, man. I love your takes. I love that you're realistic through, and you're here. And you're here every day talking football. You ain't afraid to chop it up with guys from the other team without getting all emotional. So I appreciate you, A-Dub. I appreciate you. Coming through these comments right here. Henry Gray said, we can hear you. We can hear you, or we did. Okay. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. All right. Hey, Fred. There we go. Let's move the topic right here. We talked a little bit about these coordinators right here. Joe Barry finds a new home. Let's review here. He finds a new home in Miami as the linebackers coach and the run game coordinator. Gets a demotion leaving the Packers. And then you got Lou Getsy finding a new home after getting fired as an offensive coordinator. See, this is big to me because he did not get demoted. That means that the NFL community valued him more than they valued Barry. And now they are offensive and defensive. That might have something to do with it, this and that. And then I'm hearing just through our comments right here, I didn't get the confirmation because I didn't read it anywhere, but Brian Flores staying in Minnesota. And that's great news for you. That's great news for you. Lions were also able to retain both of their coordinators and Ben Johnson. And that might be turning into something of legends. Like, I can't believe that the Commanders decide they want to throw some shade on Ben Johnson now, saying, oh, yeah, he might not have had the job. I mean, give me a freaking break, guys. Really? Right? You're going to try to convince me now after he turned you down, after he just, shot your plane out of the air. You were flying. It's like you guys so wanted him. You guys were flying. You were going to pay him whatever he wanted, and he said no, and now you're butthurt. I think it's a smart move for Ben Johnson to stay. He's young. You don't think that he's going to have interest for the next 3 years? What do you think, that all of a sudden his offense is going to suck? I mean, the offense is ascending and it continues to ascend, and it's going to continue to ascend because the players, the younger players are going to get even better. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be better. David Montgomery is going to be better. That's what happens when you spend a couple of years, when you start learning systems. And the coaching is obviously making the guys better. So, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Ben Johnson staying. Wanted to talk a little bit about the Brad Holmes gave his end of the season presser. So what did you think about that? I want to put some of this music in the background right here. But what did you think about the presser? And what he had said? I felt like he said everything that he needed to say. I mean, he's done a fantastic job at building this roster. And he's taken a lot of flack for it. I definitely didn't mind that he went after some of these beat writers that were really, really hard on him. They wanted their guys right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. Yeah, out there. And he takes Penei Sewell, who's going to be the best left tackle when he moves there after Taylor. But he's going to be the Lions tackle for the next 10 years, and he's going to be the best in the league. He's special. But the beat writers gave him a lot of crap. You should have drafted a quarterback. Should have drafted a quarterback. He was right on Goff when everybody was crapping on him. The first year I was doing a podcast, I was at war with people about Jared Goff. All you people that say that you have supported Jared Goff the entire time, I'm calling you out because you didn't. Because we were here every day. And if you did, you were hidden in a closet somewhere talking to yourself. You weren't talking to nobody here. Jared Goff, I had a bet the first year with Main Event Mike because he was so hard on Goff after they went 0-8. They wanted to get him out there. They would fire everybody. It was fire. This is the worst thing ever. You're just as bad as Patricia. And he held true. He held true to his plan. Says, no, we don't need a quarterback. We got Jared Goff. It's a lot easier to get worse at the quarterback position than it is to get better. Jared Goff is the man. And that's what he said. And he bet on that. And he took the tackle under scrutiny. And then during the presser, he called some of these guys out. He didn't call them out for criticizing him. He called them out for accountability. Because one of the things, and I love that he did this. I love that he did this because that's what we pride ourselves on here. You can ask Sarah, you can ask why we have fans of other teams that watch this show. And it's because we're accountable. At the beginning of the season, and Sarah can attest to this, at the beginning of the season, I completely crapped all over that 32nd ranked Vikings defense. I said, Brian Flores ain't gonna do nothing. You can't, there's only so much you can do with a lack of talent. And I had to come on this show. I think it was like week 6 or 7. In the midst of their losing, I was like, we're looking at these PFF scores. I'm like, this guy's got these young defenders playing better than they played. It wasn't the defense that was losing them games. They were getting in these barn burners, and they were doing all right. So I had to come on here and say, hey, Sarah, I'm going to eat my crow. I had a show dedicated to eating crow. Because I had to eat so much crow. Because my takes were awful. Just like everybody else's takes. You know, every once in a while, you're wrong. You're wrong beyond wrong. And that's all Brad Holmes was asking them to do. In that, he'd been waiting all year, biding his time until it got to this end of the year deal. And he called those people out. Hey, you didn't like this. And all I wanted you to do was go on there. You didn't just... All of a sudden, you just start saying, oh, wow, these rookies are playing real good. Wow. A lot of people were talking about how these were bad draft picks and everything. No, it was you. Not a lot of people. You were talking about that. So just own your stuff. It's not that hard. You know, if you say Ifeatu Melifonwu was a crappy draft pick, you can go back on that now. And you can say, hey, I was wrong. That's all Brad Holmes is asking you to do. And that's all he'd said. I don't think that he was overly mean against anybody. He actually gave the two people props that did do that. Hey, I said this, and then I had to change it. So you could tell he's a little bit salty. You know, maybe feeling a little bit underappreciated. I mean, as a blue-collar person, and if you're out there, blue collar, doesn't that make you mad when you're doing a really good job and you're doing everything that you can do and people still find ways to nitpick you down? He's a little salty. He's a little salty. He's brought this city a winner for the first time in forever. And he had talked about how the most important thing in building the franchise isn't that this is like some one-off Cinderella story. Oh, well, the Lions made it again, and now they're going to go back into obscurity. That's not what he's trying to build here. What Brad Holmes is trying to build is sustainability. So every move that he made and every move that he didn't make was calculated. And there was a reason why he made moves and why he didn't make moves. And I think that has a lot to do with what happened here with the trade deadline. Okay. There was a lot of people that wanted him to go out and get like a Chase Young or use draft capital to bring in these one-offs to try to win right now. It's like, no, I can win with the guys that we have, the guys that we're drafting. If we stay the course, we're not just going to have a good team this year. We're going to have a good team. You can expect it. We want this to be normal. We don't want this to be a one-off. I don't want this to be the only year that I can be on a podcast and brag that my team was good. It's been awful trying to break into this business of, being on the internet talking about football when your team sucks. That's hard. It's hard to put up with it. So you are watching Football Talk with Russell Wayne. That is me right now. It is 11 a.m. Football Talk, and that is changing next week. Not the time. I'm going to the afternoon. Russell Wayne's going to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and Jeremy B will be taking over the morning show. Smoking Jeremy B. The premiere, the off-season edition. There's a lot of football to talk about in the off-season, especially when you're adding the other 4 teams. As you can see, you got a little bit of Viking in there, some Green Bay, some Lion, and some Chicago. And if you're living vicariously through the Chicago fans, Bear Down Mike's in there, the greatest Bear fan. He's in there. And he should be excited. Bear Down Mike said he only watches because they're the only one watching. Okay, we'll see. Let's see if I don't know if anyone's going to be watching at 3 p.m. either. But I appreciate you, Bear Down Mike, being in there. But your off season is going to be exciting. So I think that you're going to want to be watching when we get into the off season, because we're going to be hitting every off season move, not just for the Lions, for any of the NFC North teams, and we're going to be talking about it, right? It's hard to talk just about one team, but we feel like we should know our enemies here, especially if we're going to be talking football 365 days a year in one way or another. And there's different ways to talk football. It isn't just me running my mouth up here. It's also with the posts that we put out onto the page, which is at Lions Villain Squad. We put out content there. 10, 15 pieces a day. We make a lot of it. A lot of it we find on the internet from other creators and post it up there. If it's good, we want to post it out there. If somebody's being good and artistic, we like to put their stuff out there. I love the AI Lions stuff. We make some of that stuff. We steal some of that stuff from other people's pages because, everybody's got a different eye for the AI Lions, the artificial intelligence Lions. Yeah. But yes, make sure that you engage into the content that's out there. We try to ask the questions, that would be interesting to you. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? How about that? You got anything special planned? I was looking for my Super Bowl graphic. I can't find it. Where the hell is my Super Bowl graphic? Is extending Goff a priority this offseason? This is another popular topic that's out there. You know, as a Lion fan, I mean, I'm not going to say it's split down the middle, but there's a lot of Lion fans that are out there that don't want to pay upwards of $50 million to keep Goff here. I mean, I think that everybody, and the thing is like, if somebody says, I understand this, but if somebody says that Goff isn't worth $50 million, I mean, that's okay, right? I mean, I want to extend him, but I don't want it to be at the expense of the future of the team, right? He knows that he has help. He knows that having that elite offensive line helps him. So, team-friendly deals. I really believe that would happen. So, in that being said, back to what he had talked about in his presser, end of the season presser, he said there may be some things leading up to the draft. He said, be patient, Lions fans, because it may look different. So I think that he's planning on doing something that may be somewhat controversial in this offseason. I don't know what that would be. It might be not extending Goff at all, because there's a play that's out there, and a lot of the people would say, hey, they don't need to extend him. And what they mean by that, has he earned the extension? Absolutely, he has. But over the cap says that he's here next year, that we don't have to extend him. You can let him play his contract out. Is that the plan? I think he's earned the contract extension, but so did Jamal Williams. I mean, rewarding people individually, that's fine, man. But if Detroit has taken any type of criticism over the last few years, decade, that they're way too loyal to some of these players that ain't doing well anymore. Now, Jared Goff's playing big time right now. And by the way, if you're watching this video right now, could you please give it a like? That always helps right there. We got some people watching. And whether you're watching it on the Detroit Lions News podcast or the Villain Squad or YouTube, just throw a like in there. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us out. And I appreciate it. Don't like it unless you like football, though. I mean, if you were streaming across the internet and you were looking for a knitting channel and you stumbled upon us, you don't have to like it, because we ain't going to talk about knitting. We're going to talk about football. And that's what we do here. But has Goff earned that contract in Detroit? You don't have to be a Detroit fan to answer that. Actually, I would like to see what Sarah would think about that, I mean, do you think Goff has earned his extension? Because he has a lot in common with Kirk Cousins. So I'm curious to see what Sarah would think about that as a Viking fan or a Packer fan. A-Dub, what do you think? Has Goff earned that contract? You've had Hendon Hooker marinating in the back. You have Hendon Hooker in there. You're developing a quarterback. So now you're in that time window. I don't think that he would be ready yet. I think they should extend him. And for more reasons than just, you want him on your team. I don't want to break the bank off him. I think that he's going to get extended, and I think that he is going to give a good deal. I really do. Thank you for those likes, by the way. That was quick. I'm glad that you guys are paying attention. But one of the benefits of extending him, and I know Jeremy B, he probably talked about this a little bit, or I didn't hear you talk about this, but the fact that his number, his base salary is $22 million this year, which means if they extend him, they can lower that base salary down to $3 million, you know? So in a sense, by extending Goff in this first year, they're actually going to open up cap room, but upwards of $10, $15 million. You get another good player like that, you know? You could re-sign Jonah Jackson and Graham Glasgow with that. So there's more benefits to it. Now, long term, you know, obviously they're kicking the can down the road a little bit. So he would definitely be here this year, next year, even if they extended him. But obviously, if they extend him by 2 years, and that's 3 years total, that third year is going to be get outable. So give him the extension, free up the money so we can do even more in free agency. You know, give Amon-Ra St. Brown the bag, dude. He's the only one that absolutely needs to be signed this offseason that I think that is the future. I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown will be the first homegrown big contract that is given out. And I think it's going to be done this offseason. Because this is going into a contract year. You do not want that Amon-Ra shit to get into the season. Goff and Amon-Ra is big right there. Get your votes in for Lion of the Year. I got Frank the Tank. I think Frank the Tank is the heart and soul of this team. How tough is this guy? I mean, he's the OG. I believe that he was the very first pick in the first round for one Bob Quinn, because he wanted to be smarter than everybody and take the center. They considered it a reach at the time, but he ends up being the best center in football. Bob Quinn didn't do a lot of good things in Detroit, folks. But for some reason, he just knew offensive linemen. You couldn't draft anything else. Bob Quinn didn't know anything about any other players. Taking 5th round linebackers in the 2nd round, like it was awful everywhere else. But he every time he picked a lineman, it seemed like the guy was good. So we got to vote in for Sam Laporta. Like that. Yep. Brent says that he has Goff at no more than $43 million. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's a raise, you know? I think somewhere in the average between, 40, 45 million, I'd be good anywhere in there. Add 2. Just add 2 years to it. 2 years of 45 million, I'll take it. I'll take it. Because you already got 32 in it. That's the thing. It's like everyone's looking at these, oh my God, you're going to use all your capital on, all this $58 million on Jared Goff. No, you're not going to use the whole $58 million on Jared Goff. Because 32 million of that is accounted for when you have $58 million. So all you have to do is extend up from that. You're only going to be adding, like in this case, if he's $43 million, you're only adding $11 million to his contract. That's how much would come off the cap in addition to, and it won't even be that. With that $32 million cap number, you're going to take that number way down when you kick that can down the road. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's an advantage. It's just like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can do that too when they want to make another Super Bowl run. They extend Patrick Mahomes, throw a couple dead years on the end. They could free up like $30 million. Boom. Just like that with Patrick Mahomes. So people get too wrapped up in the in the hoopla of the salary cap, right? Because you can do some amazing things. What is it? The New Orleans Saints are like $80 million above the salary cap. You watch Capology work. Watch how that works. Watch how quick they can get that $80 million to disappear. So Sarah says that, hey, A-Dub, do you guys still have dead cap for Rodgers in 2024? I can answer that, and the answer is no. I don't think that they have any dead cap. I thought they ate all of it. It was like $40 million in dead cap all last year. They took that Band-Aid and went, ripped it right off, and they played behind the 8 ball, still made it to the playoffs. That's the scariest thing. I mean, if I'm a transparent Lions fan and I watch Jordan Love,
My quarterback.
ain't my quarterback, but I watched that quarterback that I crapped on. That was another piece of crow that I had to eat. Jordan Love's good quarterback. Now, I don't know if he's super duper like Aaron Rodgers, because it seems like he folds like a lawn chair when it matters. But that dude can make some off-platform throws that look amazing. So he has all the potential in the world, all that other stuff. You know, he can get good at that stuff at the end once he becomes a ninja. So, yep, you got yourself a real quarterback. And now that money's coming off, you're going to be able to maintain the guys that you have and be able to move forward. Green Bay's sitting good. I think that they overperformed by 3 or 4 games. So, what are you guys doing for the Super Bowl? It says I'm not working for the Super Bowl. You guys got any special, parties going on? Anybody doing anything cool for the Super Bowl? I thought I made a graphic for it, but maybe I didn't. I thought I made a Super Bowl graphic for that question, but I didn't. Jeremy says that Jeremy B in the house says there's only $40.8 million after draft signings technically. So Jeremy's already got the capology worked. After we sign our draft picks, if we pick where we are picking, each one of those draft picks has like a salary base about where it's going to be. And Jeremy has already calculated that that's about how much money we're going to have after we do all of our draft signing, which is cool. That's plenty. Have about 40 million. And I think that you can bump it back up. And tell me I'm right on that. Well, let's see. Everybody's an orange fact. They can only, okay. I think there's a talk in here about trading Goff. That's another interesting thing too. They could. But the thing is I think they got to extend him before they trade him. Because you can make the money. I mean, if you're going to trade him, you might as well, get the cap, get the equity out of the investment, if you know what I mean. And I don't know if I like that move. I think that after maybe this year, the trading would seem like it, but I think there's a chance that they might just let him play this contract out, because I'm trying to figure out what Brad Holmes meant at the end of that presser when he was saying that there may be some moves that, that we're not going to, but to be patient with some of the moves that he's going to make. He's got something up his sleeve that he's going to do that it may not look, it may look weird on the surface. Okay. So Sarah says that Goff took y'all to the championship game. He's going to cost north of 45. So would you do it? I mean, that's the $1 million question. We love Goff. But the thing is like, you want to build your team. You want to build the team. I want Goff on my team, but I don't want to do it at the expense of what they're building, leveling up all of the ships. I mean, they got a good base. They got good starters. top to bottom, minus I mean, you add a shutdown cornerback and an impact defensive lineman, whether it be a D end or a defensive tackle, on the level of a Hutchinson. Those two players, then your starters are set. This is the definition of the Lions literally being a player or two away. They made it to the NFC Championship with a garbage secondary. I mean, they had 2 impact players on that secondary in the cornerback room, and make Cam Sutton your third corner. This defense is going to be night and day different because the safeties are badass, whether you keep Chauncey or not. So, Dave Eastman says the O-line. Yeah. They can only move Cap if Goff agrees. Well, I mean, I'm speculating here, Jeremy. Give me a break. Obviously, Goff has to agree to the deal. Yes, Goff would have to agree to the deal in order for this to work. But everyone is ignoring the fact of his agent wants to get him paid. Yeah, he's got an agent, and he's one of the smart people. The Goff.
It's my quarterback.
Goff ain't gonna worry about that. He ain't addressing it in the media. He ain't doing any part of the BS part of it. Goff is just letting the agent handle it. Now, obviously, the agent's gonna try to get him as much money as possible, unless Goff tells him to give him a team-friendly deal. Not every quarterback and not every coach is after the biggest and best deal. Look at Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson could have gotten a lot more money to leave, and he's staying. I think Jared Goff is going to offer the same type of thing, or he's going to have a Jamal Williams type of exit. It is what it is. That's why you're drafting a quarterback like Hendon Hooker. It's called a backup plan. It's called competition. And honestly, if you got Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker, and even if Jared Goff is a little bit better at this point in your developing Hendon Hooker costs $1.50 in a bag of Doritos. Okay? Jared Goff costs millions. So, which is better for the long term? Well, it depends on how good Hendon Hooker is. Nobody knows that. So, yeah, the agent's got to make the deal, just like Jeremy says. Penei Sewell is a beast. Let's see. Brad Holmes alluded to possibly trading out of the first round in the presser. Interesting. Moving out of the first round. I like that.
You like that?
Brad Holmes was proven to be a wizard with those draft picks. And what if they moved up? Because he alluded to trading the pick. But is it up or down? Is it up or down? Because I could see him, because I don't know how many players, because you have to have a season. Like when you're drafting a lot in the first round, what happens is you get like these great players, right? And you got to pay them. You got to pay them. So if you got multiple first round picks, you got to understand that like 3 years down the road, those guys are going to need to be paid. Like Penei Sewell, I don't think that's this offseason thing. I think that's next offseason. They'll pick up his 5th year option, stuff like that. But if you trade up in this first round, you want to get your impact player. Maybe you could trade up. Maybe you could trade out. Maybe you can get that impact player by trading out and getting more picks, more capital. I mean, he seems to be a wizard with that. But I know that he had said that he's going to do some things that may make you, lift your eyebrow up. Oh, there's some good stuff in here. I want to thank everybody for hopping on here today. I'm trying to get better at these hard stops right here. And I appreciate everybody coming on right here. But 11 o'clock every day, you got football talk. Now that's going to change to Smoking Jeremy B when we move to the afternoons this coming Monday. Even going to have some new theme music. You know, we're going to do it right. We'll get this thing going. But we appreciate you guys coming on here, doing the Super Bowl. This is a hard week to do, especially when none of us have a dog in the race, you know, talking about these things. And I'm trying to stay away from a lot of the off-season stuff because I really want to be able to dive into this on Monday. We got your Lion of the Week. Not the Lion of the Week, the Lion of the Year. Gosh, my head. The Lion of the Year. We're doing the nominations this week. I got Frank the Tank in there. And we'll let you know on Friday what the final nominations are going to be. And then Monday, we're going to announce the official winner of Lion of the Year. So make sure you get those votes in. Get the votes in. It's Super Bowl week. Who do you got? Super Bowl week. I got to find this graphic right there. This Super Bowl week. No. Super Bowl week. Oh, God, I wanted to be in the Super Bowl, and I just made myself feel all. There it is. Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, against maybe the greatest of all time, chasing Brady, Patrick Mahomes. This is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Thank you for watching Faith, Family, and Football. Starting with the faith. We always start out with the faith. If you don't have a place to go to church, come to my church. My church is NTC Church on the corner of Bristol, Belsey Road, Genesee County, Flint, Michigan, Burton, Michigan. I get to play in the praise and worship group. Great worship music. Great word by Pastor Galloway. The link that's in the comments, that is for our outreach ministry. Our outreach ministry is doing some amazing things. Gave away a lot of turkeys for Thanksgiving. Help some needy families provide Christmases for their kids. That's the type of stuff that we do. So when you go in there, thank you for doing that. Faith, family, and football. Family and football is easy. You know, use football. Use football to spend time with your family, not the other way around. Don't turn into a butthole when they lose. My team lost in the NFC Championship. I'm not going to turn into a jerk. But we're going to continue to come on here and give you football content during the week, every day on our Detroit Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. Thank you for following. Thank you to the Detroit Lions news broadcast. Thank you to the YouTube channel right there at Main Event 365. May the Lord bless you. If you're watching, may the Lord keep you. And may the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow for Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Peace out.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not going to be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.